Hi guys, welcome to Body Fits Golf with me, Russ Jones. Today, it's all about the hips, how we can get more mobile through the hips to help your golf, and little things we can do to test how our mobility is. Let's get started. Okay, so optimal for the hip for the golf swing is we would like it to be able to rotate around, internal rotation, which is me turning into the leg, and turning away from the leg 60 degrees each way. And that will be on both sides to help with my backswing and follow through. Now that's not always the case. A lot of you out there will be stuck, a little sticky in the hip. Again, job sitting, driving a lot causes the hips to get very locked up. Here's some things we can do to fix that. Start with my foam roller. Most people got one of these at home by now. I'm going to lean into my left cheek. Just going to go fishing. Just going to search around there. So gently rock back and forth. By now, some of you have already hit a point where you go, oof, eyebrows go up. That's a little bit tender. Don't panic. Just ease into it slowly. I can use my upper body strength. I've got both feet on the floor and I can bring myself up away from the roller slightly if it gets too intense for you. If, like me, you're not feeling anything yet and you want to go a little bit deeper, I'm going to bring my left foot up onto my right knee because it's the left leg that I'm focused on. Straight away, that stretches the tissue, allows me in there a little bit deeper. Again, you might be noticing that's a little bit more discomfort than it was initially. Don't be shy to search all the way up and down that hip. If that's over the days and the weeks that you're doing this, that gets easier to the point where you now can't find anything. I'm also going to search the side of the hip. So I just lean into the side here, just above my leg bone, just above the head of the femur, and just working up and down. And then finally, I want to come into the front. A muscle called TFL sits right in the front of the hip, almost on my pocket, and transfers all the way down to the IT band to the knee, and that can get quite tight. So I'm just going to lean to the front slightly and just gently roll back and forth. Again, I would go both legs, search, spend as much time as you need to, give yourself that little massage. After that, I like the 90-90 sit. So once the hips are a bit more warm, I bring my legs into what feels like a hurdle stance, mid-flight, I always call this one, where I'm trying to get a 90-degree bend at this knee and a 90-degree bend at this knee. Now for some people, even that is a little bit tricky to start off with. So I can lean my weight over, or I can try and prop myself up on something like so. I can get myself up into quite a tall posture because I've practiced this over time. And from there, trying to keep a neutral spine, I'm going to hinge, a bit like going into my golf setup, just hinge at the hip forwards, trying to bring my sternum over towards my knee to start off with. And you'll find a little stretch. Now I'm just going to stay there, let the stretch gradually ease off as I control my breathing. That might be 10 seconds, 50 seconds, 1 minute 30, 2 minutes. I never really give someone prescribed time on a stretch because everybody feels different on every time they do it. So you're here to do a good thing and let the stretch improve and relax. So spend as much time as need to. If you're not really feeling much through here and you notice your range is pretty low, I can search down the leg to make that a little bit more intense. So as I rotate into the shin bone, I'll notice that stretch feels a little bit different. Like so. Another one I like to do in this position is lean into my left hand here, focus on my right leg and see if I can open up the hip both ways. So open up, right knee up and then right foot up. So I've got that external rotation of the hip followed by internal rotation of the hip. Like so. And then I just spin round and do the same on the other side. Next stretch is I'm going to go into leg drops. So if I lie on my back like so, bring my feet slightly wider than my pelvis, keeping my shoulders flat, I'm just going to drop my right knee into the center and then drop my left knee into the center. Making sure that I keep the pelvis in neutral and feel that internal stretch into the hip. So that's my internal rotation. External rotation, I'd cross my leg up like so. Now straight away for some people that might be quite tricky and you might notice the knee is nearer you. So from side on, what I mean by that is if I open my leg up, then the knee is nearer my chest. Ideally I'd have that open and the knee would be further away from me. Now I like to just alternate legs, and I feel that each time it gets a little bit easier. I'm a little bit tighter on my right, but through repetitions, that gets a little bit looser and the knee gets a little bit further away from me. Like so. I can also do that stretch on a chair where I just sit cross-legged. Next, I'm going to use a mini loop band. Now I'm going to put this around my ankles and go onto all fours. Great way to fire up the muscles to learn how to get better internal rotation of the hip. Like so. I demo this backwards. And from there, I'm going to take my foot out to the side and come back. Foot out to the side, come back. I like that alternating for 10 reps, followed by what I call jumping jacks, where I do both at the same time for 10. Gets a little burn in the hip. And then I go back for another 10 alternate, which suddenly feels easier. Once I've done 10 alternate, 1 to the right, 2 to the left, 9 to the right, 10 to the left, I'll take the band off and should notice the hips turn further. Then I'm going to go back to standing. Using my club for some support, I'm going to cross a foot behind my knee so it's resting at the top of my calf. I'm going to use the club, I turn it upside down so the grip hits the floor. That's going to be a bit more secure for you. And now I want to try to open up the hips. This takes a little bit more balance. Now some of you, if your balance isn't the best at the moment, holding onto a wall or a kitchen surface is going to feel more secure for you. So I start with a straight leg, trying to turn the hip. Then I can progress that to going more into my golf setup. For this I like just one hand. So I'm now flexed at the hip, flexed at the knee. I'm going to try and maintain square shoulders to target and try to rotate the hip. Like so. Working on those, we should then come back and notice it's a bit easier for us to turn around our hip. Like so. Okay, some good stretches, some good workout moves there for you to be practicing at home. Mobilize those hips, get moving well, swing hard, stay healthy. We'll see you in the next video.